Hey, I'm Jonah.
I'm Jerry.
And today we're interviewing a Samus main from Michigan. His name is James Ma, aka Denial Duck.
Let's get right into it.
Hey guys, welcome to today's interview. We're here with Duck. Let's get into the interview. So, first question, why Samus? What do you like about the character? Why do you play him? What makes him appealing to you?
I play Samus because she's the most fun character for me. That's pretty much it. That's like the only answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had to start over. I know Nintendo has said that if he could start over, he would play Samus, which is interesting, right? So, but you personally, if you could start over, like say, from the beginning, who would you make?
If I knew everything that I knew now, it would be a toss-up, I think. I would play either Samus or Marth or Falca, but I mean, as I am right now, Samus is by far the most fun character in the game for me, so.
That's totally fair. So, in terms of, you've been sponsored by Untitled Esports. What has that sponsorship afforded you in terms of travel, being able to commit more time to Melee? Are you happy with it? Yeah.
To be honest, it hasn't actually done that much for me. Denial does obviously pays for my flights and everything, but, and I am really happy with them. One of the people that works with Denial, they come with me and Mars to like Smash tournaments, and he basically just like chills with us. He makes sure like we're ready to play, whatever. But yeah, in terms of like monetary compensation, like I have like a job in industry. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal for me compared to other people where it's like more life-changing.
Okay.
That's good. So do you feel like kind of being under the Duck brand has afforded you a little more visibility? Do you feel like, people recognize you more, or has it just kind of been the same way?
Being under Denial has definitely helped me. Yeah, more people know who I am. Denial is really, really big, especially in like the FPS world, specifically COD. But like I've actually talked to some of the people on the other teams, like, and they said that they were fans of me, which I thought was really funny. Because like I don't follow any other esports. Really. I follow Melee, I follow like Marvel and Street Fighter, and that's pretty much it. But like King Cap, who is the tank player and the captain for Heroes of the Storm, I actually got to talk to him before I joined Denial. I was like, "You're on the team. Like, how is it? Is it cool? Like, do they treat you well?" And he was like, "Yeah, everything's been amazing." And he's like, "Oh, by the way, like I watch you play Melee, and I like your Samus." I'm like, I don't know. It's really cool that people from other games like are entertained by us. I think it's cool.
So you mentioned that you follow Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom. And a lot of people have compared Samus's playstyle in Melee to, that Street Fighter, that traditional 2D fighting game. Do you feel that kind of similarity when you play?
I guess, in the game of Melee, she's probably the most Street Fighter-ish character. The other character would be like Mario and Dr. Mario, because he's literally like a Shota character. He has Fireball.
Yeah.
He has like Tatsu, sorta. He has Shoryuken with up B. But like they say that a lot because Samus is really, really ground-based in a game like Melee, where a lot of characters are aerial-based. Like I would say like Samus and Captain Falcon are probably complete polar opposites. Samus never wants to jump, and Falcon jumps all the time. But they're both very heavy, and they both rely a lot on movement. So I can see where the comparison's being made, but like if Samus were in Street Fighter, she'd be really, really, really bad.
Okay.
Like a lot of her stuff, like people always talk about like how strong her normals are and how she has like really safe pokes. That's not true at all. Most of her stuff is really unsafe on shield, and like she doesn't have like a real grab. Because it's really slow, it's really punishable. If any character in Street Fighter or Marvel had the same grab, they'd be an absolutely garbage character. So there's similarities, and I see it, but overall I don't think it's true.
So Samus is kind of more of a conditioning, kind of, making them afraid?
Yeah. You like, so like everybody that plays Smash and has played against Samus knows that Samus's grab is slow. And so like generally when I play people, everybody holds shield, which is really strong against Samus because like I said before, a lot of her stuff is just punishable out of shield.
Yeah.
But like that's where like the interplay comes in because like on some characters her grab is worthwhile to throw out for the risk reward. But like even for the characters where the risk reward is really bad, like against Puff, like if I miss a grab, I get rested and I actually lose a stock. But it's something that I still have to do. Otherwise, Puff is just going to hold shield, and I'm never going to be able to break that. You know.
Okay. Yeah, I see. So do you play any other fighting games other than Melee?
I do not. Melee takes up pretty much Melee takes up most of my free time. Like anytime I've like thought about playing other games, it's like I could just be playing Melee. You know.
Yeah.
It's like I really love playing Melee. So.
I totally understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned that kind of time investment. Do you feel like playing Samus compared to a Spacey where you have to, get super technical and learn a lot of stuff specifically for like Spaceys are just a lot of practice. Do you feel like you need to invest less time into Samus, more time into Samus, more time theory crafting, less time with tech? How do you differ from?
I think the amount of time taken is probably pretty similar. It's just invested in different places.
Okay.
So like the most obvious example of this would be like if you look at mid-level players, all of them almost like at a minimum have amazing tech skill nowadays, right?
Yeah.
But like their biggest gap is they don't have like the rest of the game. They don't have the matchup knowledge, they don't have like the experience, they don't have the mentality, just tons and tons of other things. But that's specifically for Spaceys. If you look at Samus's in the mid-level, there's just a lot of stuff that they're not doing. It's just like missing gaps in knowledge, like there's a bunch of optimizations that they don't have, like and stuff they're not doing, which is like the reason they're losing. But like with Spaces, you can like tech skill your way to mid-level. Like you can literally just look up all this stuff and then you can just press buttons and you can get to mid-level. Samus is a different type of character. Like even if you can do all the Samus tech, like it's not really going to give you as big of an advantage because like a lot of her matchups are generally almost all the matchups you play in tournament she loses. There are some exceptions, like she beats like Ice Climbers, but most of her common matchups she loses, and so a lot of like she has to win through matchup knowledge and like just being able to read your opponent and stuff like that. It's like different skill sets, but the amount of time invested definitely, I think, it's about the same.
Okay, so on the topic of different Samus mains who you mentioned are lacking some of the more, high-level aspects of Samus play, as you said. Between you, Plup, and Hugs, I think you three are the most visible Samuses there are. Like when people kind of watch a tournament and they see a Samus like really far in bracket, it's either one of you three. But what about mid-level Samuses? What other kind of up-and-coming Samus mains do you see that you kind of have your eyes on or that really interest you?
I don't really watch lower-level Samus. Just because like when I watch Melee, I usually watch it as a player.
Yeah.
And what this means is that I point out every single wrong thing that one person is doing or the other person is doing, because that's what I do for myself when I watch my own videos. And so watching Samuses that are lower level is just like, I'm just really mad the whole time. Like, what are you doing? That was terrible. Why would you do that? You should be doing this instead, stuff like that. And like, it's really useful to watch my own stuff or like Plup or Hugs, because like they'll do something that's different, not necessarily better or worse, just something that's different. But generally when I look at mid-level, it's like I was there before. I've made those mistakes already, and I've overcome them like in my own way. And so like watching that isn't really that enjoyable, but obviously I know who they are. Like sometimes I'll watch like as a spectator, just for like enjoyment, like, oh, the Samus man just upset him, this is really cool, so I'll just watch it like purely for enjoyment, like turn my brain off,
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, so there's people like Minty Flesh, who's unfortunately injured. He was getting a lot better really quickly. He seemed to be like hitting his stride, like realizing like what he had to do to get better, but I think he's out for a hand injury right now.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and then there's Morse Code, who's a local Samus player. He's pretty good. He won our Arcadian last year, which is ranked players and previously ranked players can't enter. And then like there's players like Daryl, who nobody talks about anymore, just because like he doesn't go to stuff as often. He goes to local still, but like he doesn't have as much exposure. I still think Daryl's really, really good.
Seems really, really solid from what I've seen Daryl. Yeah. And what about do you know Gumi?
Yeah, I know Gumi. I know Gumi most. His tech is ridiculous. It's like, yeah, I don't know. His tech skill is amazing, but like a lot of the stuff he comes up with is very optimal in very, very specific situations, and the rest of the time it's completely useless.
Yeah.
And like the way he plays is he does it all the time, no matter what, and it's really fun to watch. It's really cool.
For sure.
It's just like not the best thing that he should be doing as of like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know to you probably a lot of stuff he does seems a little unnecessary, you know?
Yeah.
So I can understand that, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so before Smash Summit 3, kind of leading up with the voting and whatnot, you released a video in which you gave your thoughts on Leffen. He has declined the money match at Smash Summit 3. Are you still going to push and kind of get that money match with him in the future, or is that kind of just done for now?
It's pretty much just done for now. I mean, like you said, I can understand why he said no. He's really good friends with Ice, and like anything that he did to support me would have been against Ice. And I didn't really do it because we have like beef or anything. Like I don't like hate him, he doesn't hate me. Like we hang out at tournaments when we can. It was just something that I thought would be really cool and that people would want to see.
Yeah.
And so I like put it out there. But like now that Summit's over, there isn't really that big of a reason to do it. And like as it is now, since he's in America again, I think there will be more opportunities for us to play more.
And we're looking forward to those. It should be fun.
For sure. Why do you think Leffen has so much trouble against Samus? Is there a reason why, or do you think it's a mind block, or is it?
So I've played him recently actually, and he's pretty good at the matchup now. Most of it was lack of experience, and he still has that to an extent. But like I played him at UGC. His punish game is really good. His neutral is really good. He has a local Samus player that he beats up on. So like he doesn't really get hit by like the cheesy stuff anymore. But he still gets hit like super hard. His DI is really, really bad still, and that's lack of experience. And that's what happened before. Especially since playing against Samus is really, if you've never played against Samus before, if you play against Samus for the first time, it's gonna be really, really, really confusing. Especially if you play against a high-level Samus for the first time, because the general thing is like Samus will crouch cancel, she'll wave dash back, and you can basically like hold shield against her, and it beats all her stuff. You overshoot aerials, and that works against Samuses that don't have like their neutral game fully fleshed out. But like if you play against like me or Hugs or Plup for the first time, and you like don't know what you're doing in neutral, and you run in and you just hold shield, you're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, I see. All right, so segueing into other topics.
Yeah. So we have a couple of more fun questions, less technical, less tournament.
Yeah.
Completely off topic. So the first question, what is your favorite way to eat duck?
My favorite way by far would be pecking duck, I guess in English.
I called
it's
it.
just
I
paging.
called it.
Yeah, it's by far my favorite. I love it.
Yeah, Peking duck is amazing.
Yeah.
Is there a certain restaurant around you where that has really good Peking duck, or do you just kind of eat it as?
So one of my friends from high school, his dad owns a restaurant. His family's Cantonese, and so when he moved here, they opened a restaurant called Honghua, and it's really, really good. I get the Peking duck basically all the time.
Yeah.
Well, not all the time, but like, you know, like if there's like an occasion or something, me and my family will go out. When Armado was here, actually, we took him out to eat it, and he said it was his favorite thing that he's had while he's in America.
Really?
So I'd definitely love to see what he thinks about other kinds of dishes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armada, like that, he's not a big fan of sushi, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd imagine from my experience, sushi is kind of a hit or miss thing, you know, with people. Like they either love it or they really, really hate it. It's really polarizing. So,
Yeah, and he's okay with Indian food. The man loves pizza for whatever reason. He loves pizza. I don't really get it, but yeah, it's like it's.
That's surprising, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so in elementary school, how were you at the game Duck Duck Goose?
I'd imagine you're the best.
I have no idea. It's been a really long time.
That's
Probably
totally fair.
too far back in the past.
All right.
I'll say I was amazing though.
All right.
It's definitely
Amazing?
amazing.
For the viewers, for the fans,
Yeah.
just let them
I
know.
was-
All right, so we're gonna ask you to tell us your favorite moment in a tournament. You know, whether it was as a spectator, whether it was while you were playing. What is the one moment in tournament that has stuck with you through the years?
Yeah.
My favorite moment, I guess. Let me think. I would say recently my favorite moment was at Big House 5. If you like follow me at all, you've seen the picture with me going like
Yeah.
just really hype about beating Swedish. That's probably my number one, just because like I was playing against Swedish, who is amazing, and he plays Sheik, which is a really hard matchup. And I was down like 3 stocks to 1 at one point. I was like super hard deficit, and I'd basically in my head like sort of given up. I was just like, I can't win anymore, so I'm just going to play like the absolute best I can, and then I'll just be fine with the result. And I ended up winning, and so like it was just like a lot of emotion for me. I don't usually do that at all. I'm pretty sure that's the only time I've ever done that. And yeah, so it felt really good. And then
I can imagine the adrenaline that built up, the adrenaline rush after. It must have been a hell of a ride.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 2 would be when Prince Abu rested PP in the Genesis Crew battles. Just because
I remember that.
we actually talked about this. Like before he had to play PP, we were just like, dude, PP's Marth against Hungrybox, he does pretty well. He might just 4-stock Obby and then it'll just look terrible. But then he just like up tilt rested. It was so funny.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Would you rather fight 1 duck-sized duck or 500 duck-sized ducks?
I think 1 duck-sized duck.
Okay,
Probably.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
the odds are better
Like
there.
going for the lower amount means less effort, so you gotta
I think-
conserve your
I
energy.
think it's optimal.
It's optimal. Okay, for sure.
Optimal.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
The optimal amount. Yeah.
All right, well, I think that's about all the questions we have. Do you have anything you want to say to your fans or to any of the viewers watching?
Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for being like fans of Samus. I love Samus. I love Melee. I hope you guys like keep watching, and hope you guys like look forward to me doing better next year, like even better than this year.
I'll
All right.
definitely be looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for this interview. We wish you the best of luck going into 2017.
Thanks, guys.
That was Denial Duck. We would like to thank him very much for coming on our show today.
As always, make sure you drop a like and comment below who you want to see in our next video.
And if you're a fan of Duck, please do follow him on Twitter.
And as always, subscribe to Akshon Esports. Thanks for watching.
Do it to